Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In this video, I'm going to guide you through creating the tangle called Showgirl by Vicki Bassett. It's a beautiful tangle, and we are going to do that using the Zentangle method, which is making one line at a time. I'm using a Micron pen. This one is a PN plastic nib. I have a graphite pencil for shading and a tortillion for blending. I'm also using a 2" by 2" tile from Zentangle.com called the Bijou Tile. You can find all of these products on Zentangle.com. You can also visit me on Facebook at Let's Tangle, and I have some items for sale there. Also, you can use whatever you have on hand. It doesn't have to be these fancy materials. Okay, so to start this one, we're going to begin by making a dot in each of the four corners. And making these little dots gives us a way to make a frame before we even start our artwork. So we connect these dots with a pencil. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen. Sorry, I have things rolling all over. I'm going to pick up my pen, and I'm going to start Showgirl by putting a circle in the center. Doesn't have to be very big. And if you've watched any of my videos, one of my favorite, probably my most favorite tangle is Flux, which is a teardrop pattern. I love it. And this one uses that teardrop shape over and over and over again to fill a space. It's a very calm tangle to create. Okay, so I'm going to try to put in 4 of these teardrops. So I'm going to start on the right hand side, and I'm going to come up over the top and make this little teardrop shape. Switch pens. Then I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to come down to this side and make a teardrop. I'm going to start over on this side and come down to the bottom, make a teardrop. I'm going to do one more starting at the bottom and then coming up the side. This can be made with any size circle and with any number of little teardrops. Okay, now I'm going to go to this first one on top, and I'm going to create another one by coming down into this little crevice over here, and I'm going to come up and add one to the top. Come down into this crevice, add one to the top. So I've made this tangle probably 6 or 7 times, and every time I do it, it comes out a little bit different. So depending on how far you take this next little shape, if you go beyond the first one or start it short, it's beautiful no matter what you do, so don't overthink it. I'm just going in this counterclockwise direction, adding these little flux shapes. Trying to keep them about the same width. And try to keep that flux shape going. Sometimes I tend to just stop my pen, but I really want it to have that flow and shape of that teardrop. Now when I reach my pencil line, I'm going to stop. So I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes we let our tangles just go right over the border, but for this one today I'm not going to, because I want to change the direction of what's happening here. So I need to fill in these corners, and I'm going to do that by continuing to make a flux shape. But when I hit that pencil line, I'm just going to come back in. Does that make sense? So it ends up sort of changing directions a little bit. And instead of building up and on top of each other, it starts to go off to the side a little bit. I love tangles that you can just keep drawing over and over and adding to it without having to think about where the next line needs to go. It just sort of happens. Isn't this so cute? So now, like, I've got this little space up here, I'm just going to fill that whole area with a flux. I love this pattern so much. Okay, when I'm done, I'm going to ink in my border. On all four sides. Then I'm going to start coloring in that extra space I have left over that did not fit one of those little shapes. When you're doing Zentangle, you always have the option to add more or make less on a tile. But this method of filling in the space really makes the tangle stand out, add some drama and some depth. I love that. Filling those in. I hope that whenever you follow one of my videos, you make the little tile, but then I hope you go back afterwards and try it a few more times, because really a lot of these take just 2 or 3 times to get the hang of it. And you start to see in each tangle what you like, what you don't like. Maybe you don't want yours to curve as much. Maybe you want fewer of those little flux shapes. Play around with it. Okay, when I get this all filled in, I'm going to add a line around my frame. So I'm just going to aura the frame by adding a line right beside it. Do it nice and slow. Doesn't have to be straight, but concentrate. There we go. I also love a tangle that when you're done, you're not even sure what the top or bottom was. Okay, there's that. I'm going to add a reflection in the center. And so this is Showgirl right here, but I just want to show you a few ways that you can add some things to this tangle. So if you wanted to, you could put in a line with a few dots. Look at how much that adds. You could also fill one of these with orbs. So you could just pick one and put these little circles in it. You could also do that method of filling in half of it, leaving a little space, filling in the rest. And it gives that illusion of like a little reflection on that band. You can do that on this one. So after you make a tangle, go back and add some little flourishes. So fun. I'm going to do a tiny bit of shading on this one. I'm not going to do a lot of shading because it doesn't really need a lot. Okay, put my pen down. All right, so I'm going to, where I have this little curved part of each of those shapes, I'm going to add some graphite in there. And by doing that and then pushing it out a little bit, it gives the illusion that those are kind of tucking into that next section. So over here, I'm going to put some along the points of that area. Push that out as if that is tucking in. So I'm doing those curved edges, and then the other side where it has those little points. And we're just giving these some shape and some depth. Go all the way up here to where those curve. I forgot to do those curves up there. That's so pretty. I'm always so excited to see how these turn out. So doing the points, and then I'm doing those little curved edges. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some graphite around that little circle in the middle. And I'm going to put it on kind of thick. And I'm going to push that out. We're going to put a little bit inside. Okay, there we go. That is called Showgirl. Make it as fancy as you want. I absolutely love it. As always, we initial our work. Put my initials over here. And on the back, add the date and a little journal entry about what's going on in your life. Please like the video. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.